When I got the call, my knees buckled and I collapsed in a public building, sobbing. The paternity agent repeated herself, but I believed her the first time. My world shattered. My 4-year-old daughter, the girl I raised and loved, wasn't mine. But years later, my DNA test exposed my ex-wife's lie, and my revenge brought me closure. My name's Paul, and this is my story. It was 2006, and I was a 38-year-old logistics manager in Chicago. I was in a government office, handling some paperwork, when my phone rang. The voice on the other end was clinical, detached. "Mr. Bennett, the paternity test results are in. You are not the biological father of Lily Bennett." My knees gave out. I hit the floor, papers scattering, tears streaming down my face. People stared, but I didn't care. A kind employee gently lifted me, guiding me to a private office in the back. Everything blurred, my vision, my thoughts, my world. I called my dad, my voice breaking. "Dad, Lily, she's not mine." His tone, warm but heavy, pulled me back to reality. "Oh, son, I'm so sorry." I sobbed harder in that office, the weight of loss crushing me. I called my boss, taking the day off, and went home to grieve. It felt like my little girl had died. The colors of the world faded. I couldn't breathe as shock gripped my heart. A burning question echoed. Why? There was no answer, no closure. Nothing made sense. Chaos reigned. I kept pointing to the pain, but no one knew how to help. Even now, 12 years later, writing this makes me cry. That day shaped my life. How did I survive this? You'll find out soon. The days after that call were a blur of grief and anger. I couldn't look at Lily without feeling a stab in my chest. She was still my little girl. But the betrayal gnawed at me. Rachel, my ex-wife, acted like nothing was wrong, picking Lily up for her weekends, smiling as if she hadn't destroyed me. I wanted answers, but I was too broken to confront her. I spiraled. I drank too much, isolated myself, and let my work suffer. My trust in women shattered. Every interaction felt like a potential lie. I'd wake up at night, replaying Rachel's words from our marriage. "Lily's your daughter, Paul." How could she lie so easily? The question, why, haunted me, but I found no answers. A month later, I hit rock bottom. I was at a bar, drowning my pain, when I saw Rachel's car outside. She was with a man I didn't recognize, laughing, carefree. Something snapped. I called my lawyer, Sarah, the next day. "I need to know everything," I said. Sarah hired a private investigator to dig into Rachel's past. The investigator's report came back a week later. Rachel had been seeing this man, Mark, during our marriage. Lily's real father, I assumed. They'd planned to keep it secret, but Rachel got pregnant, and I was the perfect cover. She'd lied for years, thinking I'd never find out. The report also showed Rachel had been siphoning money from our joint account during our divorce, claiming it for Lily's care. She'd stolen $50,000. I felt a fire ignite inside me. I wasn't just a victim. I was going to fight back. What was my plan? Keep listening. With the investigator's report in hand, I started planning my revenge. I wasn't going to let Rachel get away with her lies or her theft. First, I needed proof beyond doubt. I contacted the paternity agency again, requesting an official DNA test with Lily's samples. Sarah ensured it was legally binding. The results came back the same. I wasn't Lily's father. But this time I wasn't broken. I was furious. I told Sarah about the $50,000 Rachel had stolen. She advised filing a civil suit for fraud and theft, using the investigator's report as evidence. But I wanted more than money. I wanted Rachel to feel the humiliation I'd felt. I decided to expose her lie to our families and friends. I planned a gathering at my parents' house in Chicago, inviting everyone we knew, including Rachel. I told her it was a family celebration for Lily's upcoming birthday. She agreed, clueless about my intentions. I also reached out to Mark, Lily's biological father. He was shocked to learn about Lily. Rachel had told him she'd miscarried. Mark was angry, feeling robbed of his daughter's life. I convinced him to come to the gathering. "Let's show her what she's done," I said. He agreed. The night before the event, I couldn't sleep. I looked at old photos of Lily and me. Her first steps, her giggles, her tiny hand in mine. She wasn't mine by blood, but she was mine in every way that mattered. I vowed to stay her dad no matter what, but Rachel needed to pay. What happened at the gathering? You're about to find out. The gathering was at my parents' house, a warm Chicago evening in 2018. About 30 people, family, friends, even some of Rachel's co-workers, filled the backyard. Rachel arrived with Lily, smiling like she owned the world. I played the perfect host, hiding my anger. Mark arrived too, staying in the background until I gave the signal. After dinner, I stood up, holding a glass of wine. "I have an announcement," I said, my voice steady. Everyone quieted, eyes on me. Rachel looked curious, unsuspecting. I pulled out the DNA test results and held them up. 12 years ago, I learned Lily isn't my biological daughter. Gasps echoed around the yard. Rachel's face went pale. I continued. "Rachel lied to me, and to all of you. She had an affair with Mark here." I gestured to him as he stepped forward and passed Lily off as mine. She also stole $50,000 from me during our divorce. I played a recording from the investigator, Rachel laughing with Mark about how she'd fooled me. The crowd murmured, staring at her in disgust. Rachel stood, shaking. "Paul, stop this," she screamed, but I wasn't done. I handed out copies of the bank statements showing her theft. Her own mother looked at her with shame. Mark spoke up, his voice trembling. "You told me Lily died, Rachel. I missed 12 years with my daughter." The crowd turned on her, whispering, judging. Rachel ran out, humiliated, as Lily clung to me, confused. Was that the end of my revenge? Not quite. After the gathering, Rachel's life unraveled. Her friends cut her off, her co-workers distanced themselves, and her family barely spoke to her. The civil suit went through. Rachel was ordered to repay the $50,000 with interest, totaling $75,000. She couldn't pay, so the court seized her car and garnished her wages. She moved into a tiny apartment, her lifestyle gone. Mark and I worked together to ensure Lily knew both of us. I stayed her dad. She called me Papa Paul, and Mark became Daddy Mark. It wasn't easy, but we put Lily first. Rachel tried to fight for custody, but the judge, seeing her lies and theft, limited her to supervised visits. Lily was happier with me, and I felt a bittersweet victory. I struggled with trust for years, my trauma affecting every relationship, but exposing Rachel helped me heal. I started therapy, learning to forgive, not for her, but for me. I wrote a blog about my story anonymously, and it went viral. Thousands shared their own betrayal stories, thanking me for giving them hope. But there was one final piece to my plan Rachel didn't see coming. What was my last move? It's bigger than you think. A year after the gathering, I found out Rachel had been hiding money in a secret account, $20,000 from her job bonuses, likely to fund her lies. I tipped off the IRS through Sarah, and they investigated her for tax evasion. She was fined heavily and faced probation, her reputation destroyed beyond repair. I also ensured Lily's future. I set up a trust fund with the money I'd saved over the years, ensuring she'd have everything she needed for college and beyond. Mark contributed too, and we became unlikely allies, united by our love for Lily. Rachel tried to contact me, begging for forgiveness, but I blocked her. Her apologies were too late. My blog turned into a book deal, Not by Blood, A Father's Revenge and Redemption. It became a bestseller, helping others heal from betrayal. I donated half the profits to a children's charity, honoring Lily. At 50, I finally felt at peace. I was still Lily's dad, and no DNA test could change that. Looking back, the pain of 2006 still lingers, but I found closure within myself. Rachel thought she'd break me, but I rebuilt stronger. My revenge wasn't just about her, it was about reclaiming my life and my daughter. What would you have done in my shoes?